If you're moving to Las Vegas, maybe you signed a lease or just closed on a property here and you are getting ready to make a move, there are some really important things that probably nobody told you about that are going to come up in the first 12 months of living in Vegas. I want to let you know what they are so they don't catch you off guard. Everybody talks about the decision to move, and almost nobody talks about the 12 months right after the truck pulls away. Those little surprises, the bills, the rhythms, the traffic, the seasons, all those little details that come up that can decide whether or not this is going to be a great move for you or a huge regret. So if I can even remove one of those obstacles and give you a few less things to worry about than the first 12 months, I'm here for it. Sometimes these things take a season to learn. Sometimes it's just acclimating yourself with a new location. But that's what I'm here for as your guide to moving in Las Vegas. And I promise I'm going to walk you through what it takes to get through your first summer in Vegas, the DMV, which is inevitable. We all have to deal with that, and everything else that makes moving to Las Vegas or moving within Las Vegas its own unique and special experience. All of these little things are what shape whether you love it here or not. And at the end, I will cover the most important point that will save you a ton of money. So stick around, because getting through the first 12 months in Vegas is not for the faint of heart. And it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. I'm Gwen Lyon. I'm a local Las Vegas realtor. I have lived in Las Vegas for 20 years this summer. And I know the ins and outs of this city. And I'm happy to help get you through all of the things that I have learned and helped lots of other people learn in the last 8 years of doing real estate here. Number one, let's just point out the elephant in the room. You've got to get through your first summer in Vegas. And what's so ironic is a lot of people actually move here in the summer, right? That's our busy season for moving. I personally moved here in June. So yes, getting through the first summer takes an adjustment. There's no way around it. The first time it's 110 degrees, you're going to text everyone you know, checking in, just letting you know I'm still alive, staying hydrated, staying cool. You will learn when you move here. We get things done in the morning, right? We operate early before the heat of the day, and then we hibernate, and then we come out in the evenings. That's a real thing. You are going to notice your energy levels will change with the temperature of the day, and you're going to need to adjust for that. Your body actually physically changes to be able to deal with those higher temperatures. So you'll start to feel freezing cold when you get below 80, literally. You're going to learn the rhythms of when to run your errands, when to run your car, because let's face it, like, it can be real trouble to have your car break down in the middle of the heat. Our summer is also our monsoon season, which is kind of crazy because we can have these random rainstorms in the middle of the day that can lead to flooding. And a lot of people are not expecting that. It's kind of like mid to late summer, and we'll get these crazy rainstorms. We get lots of wind, which people also are not expecting because they're thinking we can go to the pool anytime it's 110 degrees, but it's like 110 degrees with 30-mile-per-hour winds. It's not really ideal. Your umbrella will blow away. Your cabana is not safe. People do not know how to drive, even with a tiny bit of rain, right? Because the roads get slick because we don't get rain very often. So then all of a sudden, literally, it will be so slippery and people drive like maniacs. They think they can still be at 65 on the highway when it's raining, but then there's half the people that have never seen a drop of rain before, or they don't know how to drive. Okay, also important, the car becomes an oven, right? We hear so much about don't leave the kids, don't leave the pets, don't leave groceries, don't leave anything of value in the car, but for sure, when it's hot in the summer, you have to have every bit of protection. It was pretty shocking to me that as soon as I moved to Vegas, I had to get super high level tint on my car. I would highly recommend tinting your car windows. And, hydrating is so important. I never was a huge water drinker, but when you live in a desert, you just naturally dehydrate. So you've got to keep not only water, and those like hydration packets are very popular here, but also your home. You are going to want to have, that's kind of like initial first summer stuff. By the second summer, you'll be a pro and you'll be like, okay, cool. We know it's hot. All right. But again, that's the trade-off. You get 3 months of hiding out until the dark, but you get 9 months of beautiful weather where you can spend outside gardening, walking, doing whatever you like, taking your dog. I think I've said enough about the heat. Let's talk about the DMV. Okay. I mean, the only thing worse than the heat is the DMV, right? Literally. It's one of those necessary evils, the Nevada Department of Transportation. And I think it gets a really bad rep. To be honest, there are so many DMVs around town that it's usually pretty easy to find something available. But one thing that is very surprising here that I don't think is the same everywhere, we can't just walk into a DMV. Like, never. You have to go online. You have to make an appointment. It's kind of like going to, get a passport or going in to get your like TSA pre-check or something. You have to make an appointment. You have to go sit down with someone and you have to have all of your ducks in a row. And you have to do this within 30 days of moving to Las Vegas. Because if you get pulled over, right, it's this huge fine. If you have a Nevada license, you get free parking, you get discounts. So there's lots of benefits as well to having that license. But most importantly, you're not like a giant red flag to have police pull you over, which no one wants. Okay, and once you establish residency, so you've got either like your paperwork showing that you purchased a home or a lease, you can take that into the DMV to register your vehicle. You're also going to have to get a smog, which is something we have here to make sure like our cars keep the standards of emissions, but you also have to get insurance here. And sometimes car insurance can be more here. If you're going to register your car, you kind of have to do that up front anyway. Make an appointment online in advance. And if you do try to walk in, wow, okay, guys, you're brave. Trying to do a walk-in at our DM is like, could be 5-6 hours. It's not worth it. Just go online, book an appointment, and make it happen. Okay, the other thing is, so I moved from the DC area, and in DC, of course, we have but it's all dependent on your vehicle, how old your vehicle is, and the value of the vehicle. So you might want to figure all that out before you move here, because that could be a significant cost. And also, the DMV website is going to tell you exactly what. And also, I will give you a link to the DMV with my 30-day checklist. So anybody that's moving here from out of state will get all of the information on registering at the DMV, getting your utilities, and a huge checklist of items just to help you remember all of this, because it's a lot. All right, number 3, I would say the third most important thing to think about when you're moving to Las Vegas from somewhere else is the HOA learning curve. And I say this to everyone that moves here, but maybe people don't really understand what it means. The HOAs in Las Vegas are everywhere, right? We have master HOAs and sub HOAs, and almost every community in Las Vegas is going to be part of an HOA. Some of the older neighborhoods are not. Sometimes those are really sought after areas to live in, but I would say 75% of Las Vegas is within an HOA. And the HOAs are homeowners associations. They are governed by the community themselves. They're usually run by people who live in the community, and they're meant to protect the property values. So they have the best of intentions, but they have a lot of power here. They have a lot more power than you would think. They can fine you if your grass is too unkempt, if your landscaping isn't pretty. They can fine you if your car isn't moved often enough, like people who park and leave it. They can fine you, and trust me, I've been on both sides of the HOA argument. I've lived in communities with no HOAs where I had 30 people a day pulling up to go to the garage sale that never ended. And I've also lived in the community that has the HOA with, the crazy guy that walks around and takes photos of every little detail and sends you letters of harassment stating you need to make sure that your house gets painted and your grass is too long. So it can go both ways. And it says, we're going to tow you. That might not be the spot for you. You just have to decide. But I always suggest driving it and seeing if the lifestyles of the people that are living there match your lifestyle. If you have an RV, are people allowed to park RVs in that community? Or do people have a lot of cars and they're allowed to park all over the street? And those types of things, and drive at different times. That's all I can say about HOAs. Let's talk about something else that's also really important in Vegas, and I'm part of it. And if you're moving here from somewhere else, you're going to be part of it too. Vegas is a transient place. A lot of people move here, and a lot of people move away from here. That's kind of part of maybe what's attractive about Vegas, is that there are so many transplants that everyone is like part of the community. Whereas maybe if you move to some other part of the country where everybody's like born and raised there, it's hard to get into actually like network with people and make friends and become a part of the community, because if you're not from there, you stick out like a sore thumb. Well, in Vegas, it's very different. Everyone is kind of a transplant. So it's much more common to find people that are from Canada, New York, California, Florida, and the Midwest, everywhere. Everybody's from everywhere. And foreign countries as well. It's a very diverse and multicultural city. So everybody fits in. And the rule is kind of like get in where you fit in, right? Find a house of worship, find a scene, find a vibe, whether that's like yoga in the mornings at the park or walking your kids in a stroller group or like a sports group. There's lots of people that play pickleball, racquetball, basketball, all types of like sporting things here, frisbee golf. I mean, you name it, we have it. So find your tribe, because you are going to feel comfortable and at home, and you're going to make friends. And then, right, then it becomes like a place you want to be because you've got a tribe of people that are here. There's pools, there's parks, there's recreational events, there's free concerts. I mean, there's so much to do in Vegas. So find the thing that you like. If it's country music, if it's, I don't know, EDM, right? Like there's so much here. Find your tribe, network. If you have a great job, then that's cool too, because there's lots of networking for like careers, but make this place your home by networking. The more you can network and put yourself out there a little bit and find your tribe, the more you're going to enjoy the experience of living in Las Vegas, for sure. I connect with people who sometimes say like, I never made friends. I never even talked to my neighbors. I mean, obviously you have to take steps to put yourself out there and find people that are like-minded if you want to make friends in a city like this. So that takes a little bit of work, but it's so worth it. There's so many fun groups and there's so much to do here. So even those like meetup groups, when I first moved here, I was online looking for like hiking groups or walking groups, people that walk around the malls. There's gardening, there's pets and dogs. I mean, gosh, I love all those things. So find something that you like and start connecting with people in the community. And then you'll see like how loving the community is. Number 5, the Strip novelty and all the fun glitter, glitz, and sparkly things of the Strip wears off really, really quickly when you live here. When you realize that going down to the Strip is $100 or $200 every time because it's super expensive to go see shows or go out to eat, and parking and all of the things that go along with going down on the Strip, you will realize very quickly that that's kind of a special occasions thing that we do when we have friends and family that come to visit, right? And I love to play tourist in my city, don't get me wrong. One of my favorite things is like going to the Bellagio fountains, going to the conservatory and looking what they've done, because they redo all the plants and all of the decor for all the seasons. So it's absolutely gorgeous and it's free, and I love to do that. But I don't really play tourist unless I have friends and family coming to visit. So even though you will love to do things on the Strip when you move here, you're also going to realize like there's a lot of stuff that is off the Strip that is way less expensive, and it's a lot closer to home. I have buffets, shopping, shows, and restaurants and all of that stuff really close to my house. I don't have to go to the Strip to do it. There's a casino here pretty much in every community. So you're going to find that your local casino actually becomes kind of your center for your community. And you'll see there'll be movie theaters there. There's pools and restaurants and shopping. And that's kind of one of the funny things is that sometimes those casinos are also our landmarks. They're like, where do you live? I'm like, oh, I live near the Durango Casino. Or somebody might say they live near the Santa Fe Station. Like that becomes your landmark, and it isn't necessarily the Strip. You're going to develop very strong opinions as well about your favorite taco shop, your favorite restaurants, your favorite malls. You're going to get your favorite hairdresser. All of that stuff is going to become really important when you get here. And you're going to get really, really opinionated on your favorite grocery store and your favorite coffee shop and your favorite bagel place. You're going to find all of this, right? Which gym do you like? Are you a Planet Fitness person? Do you like LVAC? Right? There's all these different choices that you will have when you move to Vegas, and you're going to get very opinionated on your preferences. Okay, topic number 6 is the bills that surprise people who move here. When you become a new resident in Las Vegas, you might be surprised at some of the ways our bills look. Our summer electric bills, obviously, are going to be pretty high here. And one of the most important things I think you can do if you are not aware is call NV Energy and let them know, hey, I want to be on an equal pay program. And that alone can save you tons of money. What is another really expensive thing here? A pool is wonderful, and it definitely adds to the value of a home, whether you're renting or buying, but it does definitely come with expenses and costs for chemicals, for cleaning, for a robot, if you have that little robotic cleaner that goes in there. So lots of expenses that go with pools. And I'm happy to go over details of that if you have any questions. Actually, I kind of call this like the Bermuda Triangle of Las Vegas sometimes because our internet and phone service can be really funky. Obviously, we live in a valley that is surrounded by mountains, and there are definitely dead zones around the city. And some of it has to do with like the height of the buildings, and some of it has to do with security around the airport. So there are definitely pros and cons of going with the different internet providers. But the main ones that we have are like Cox or CenturyLink. And now we obviously have Starlink that you can get as well. But these are costs that you should definitely look into when you want to move here. And you've got to have your internet set up before you get set in your home, right? Everything runs on the internet. So you definitely want to take care of that up front. Get the phone numbers. I have the list of all of that for you, but it's on the new resident checklist that I can send you anytime. We know about the expenses. What else? The very most important thing that you don't want to be caught off guard about is health care, right? We have great healthcare here in Vegas, but you have to have these things kind of set up before you get here. The very last thing you want to do is end up sick or hurt and not having any contacts. So it's great to have a guide like myself, and I'm happy to help give you information on doctors. Obviously, insurance companies have lists of people that are within their network, but definitely having a plan and having a pediatrician if you have kids, having, specialists if you've got any kind of special health that you need, and making sure that those are set up. So I always think that that's one of the most important things. You don't want to wait until you're sick to be trying to find a doctor. And summertime happens to be when the most people move to Vegas. Summertime is when it's the hardest to get doctor's appointments. All the teachers are off. I don't know why that is. I actually realized that when I was a teacher. It was nearly impossible to get doctor's appointments in the summertime. And they're like very reasonably priced, and they can take care of probably 75% of health issues if you just have like a sniffle or a cut or a flu or anything like that. But if you have any more serious health things, or if you're going to register kids for school and you have to have vaccines and stuff, you definitely want to make sure you've got a good pediatrician or a good primary care family doctor lined up. And I have great recommendations after having been here for 20 years, so I'm happy to share. You definitely want to set up a dentist, a primary care doctor, and any specialists that you will need before you make a big move. Also, if you're moving from out of state, you want to make sure that your insurance transfers or that you have the right kind of insurance that you need. If you're able to transfer like within the network from state to state, then that helps make it a lot easier for you. But you may need to actually go out into like the insurance marketplace, get quotes for insurance, and that could be a different cost living in Vegas as well. This is kind of boring stuff, but you definitely don't want to be trying to deal with it in your worst moment when you're not well. You want to handle this when life is calm and you're preparing and you're ahead of the curve. All right, something else that can affect your first year is a very costly decision, renting versus buying. And sometimes we call it the rent versus buy trap, because people think they're going to move here and just live here for a year or two. So they want to rent to make sure they like the neighborhood. Of course, that really does make sense if you have no idea and you've never lived here before and you have no guides. But you are going to spend $20,000, $30,000 renting here. So that can be a huge expense that is really unnecessary. If you plan it well, you might be able to put that into equity in your own pocket with a purchase. And that's a lot of money. It's a very significant amount of money. So if you're nervous about buying, I get it. If you're nervous about moving to Vegas, I get it. But if you are going to make a move to Vegas, you at least owe it to yourself to look at those two different options and what the value is in each one of them. And then make a plan. I would say don't just come here blindly saying, we're just going to try it and see. I mean, a lot of people do that, but if you can say, okay, I'm going to give myself a year, and if I like it, then I'm going to have plan B so that I don't end up blowing 3, 4, or 5 years. And now I have nothing to show for it. And I want to live here because I love Vegas. If you're able to buy now or able to buy in a year, at least set up a plan that's the goal. My honest advice is rent if you have a real reason, but at least have a 20-minute conversation with an agent and with a lender. So it's a decision that you're making, that you're actively thinking about, and not just like a default, right? Because you don't necessarily have to do that. Even if we put together a let's buy in 6 months, hey, that beats drifting and just renting. Nobody likes moving that much, and rents keep going up. So make a plan, have a strategy. Your first year in Vegas is a learning curve. The heat, the DMV, the HOAs, the bills, finding your peace and finding your tribe. It's all a part of the process. But every single one of those things, if you have some knowledge in advance and you put a little bit of forethought into it, you'll go through this entire cycle of all of the seasons and you'll have a really beautiful experience. Putting a little bit of thought and planning into your first year here is going to make this an awesome move, and not just, let's just shoot the dice and see what comes out of it. If you just moved to Vegas or you're about to, drop a comment or send me a message and I'll send you my new resident checklist. And it will include everything you need to do in the first 30 days and all of the costs. Send me a message or drop me a comment and I will send you my new resident checklist with everything that you need to know for the first 30 days of moving in Vegas. The providers, the costs, a heads up on all of it, the DMV, and if you're in the rent or buy decision making, I'll give you all the actual numbers so that you can make a really informed decision. No pressure, just help.